Well, hi everyone. I'd like to thank you for attending this National Cybersecurity Student Association webinar series. Today's webinar will be on best practices and lessons learned from the Cal Poly Pomona Cyber Clubs. For over 20 years, MISSA, SWIFT, and FAST student clubs have run information technology and cybersecurity presentations, workshops, cyber competitions, and networking events, connecting students to industry and government professionals. Our presenters today will be Dan Manson, Chair, Computer Information Systems at Cal Poly Pomona, Karter Rohrer, President, Cal Poly Pomona Forensics and Security Technology Club, and Matthew Sprengel, former Chief Information Officer, Management Information Systems Student Association. I'm going to pass it over to the speaker now.
Thank you, Gus. And thank you for giving us time today to talk about what our student cyber clubs do at Cal Poly Pomona. We really have a rich history with the clubs. To me, the clubs are a critical success factor in our cybersecurity program. It's my pleasure to turn it over to our first speaker, Karter Rohrer.
Yeah, everybody, I appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak. I'm the president of the Forensics and Security Technology Club. This is about our 4th year running at Cal Poly, and it's been a progression. We are the official student chapter of HTCIA, and this year has been, I would say, the most successful year for a lot of reasons. And it does take a progression of, it takes a brand, a good leadership team, and a following in order to really make this happen. So just a little bit of background about myself. I'm the president this year, and I got involved with the club last year. I actually ran the forensics research team. I'm a 4th year here at Cal Poly Pomona, and due to the skills I've learned through the clubs and our coursework, mainly the clubs, I've completed several internships with NASA, and I will be going into the DoD for an internship this year, and as well as when I graduate. I am a computer information systems major. I do specialize in penetration testing and incident response. I do enjoy the offensive sector, but I do like to get well-rounded, and I just enjoy learning everything I can. And the students always are teaching me something different. I do know a lot, but there's always someone out there that's going to know something different or more than myself. So FAST is a student organization here at Cal Poly, and we specialize in forensics, penetration testing, and incident response. We do really like to get all the sectors within the security community, and students do specialize in each of those areas. And we have different teams within our student organization to host workshops and conduct independent research. We have over 50 computer science and CIS students this year, and I would say that's definitely our biggest numbers. It's slowly progressed year by year. We kind of started out with a 10 or 20 following. Last year, I believe we had 30 or 40 actively showing up. This year, we were absolutely overwhelmed, and it's been a lot of fun to work with the students. So we do a combination of a couple different things. One of our biggest selling points is we host how-to workshops on hacking tutorials, forensics tutorials, and very high-level IT skills, ranging from low to very, very complex. A lot of the stuff we do, you cannot Google or YouTube. It is active research. Something cool we did this year, we built some malware that can get into Windows 10 and do just about anything, and we tested it against current antiviruses. It's currently working today, and we like to do stuff on old operating systems as well as attack the new stuff because that's where the future is going. We also bring in some industry speakers. Our biggest speaker this year was Amazon. They flew someone out, a security engineer from their Seattle office, to talk to us for an hour. They probably had a couple $1,000 travel budget, but like I said, they were on campus for nothing over an hour and 30 minutes. We've had representatives from Savient, Guidance Software, the Department of Defense. We have the FBI coming in, and we're trying to bring in some local Secret Service representatives that we've met through HTCIA. We do undergraduate as well as graduate cybersecurity research. So this is on our own time. We're not giving course credit for anything we do, but we enjoy what we do, and that's why we are so active. Our club also hosts projects. I started the drone offensive security team here at Cal Poly, and it is comprised of FAST students. basically, we got legal permission to fly drones on a CSU campus, and we hack into various Wi-Fi drone models. This has been a lot of fun because it's something physical students can see. It's not very difficult to do, but it's a physical object that they can interact with their computer and actively see how security can compromise those devices. We utilize public exploits, so never reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of research done on some of the drone models that we've been testing, but we've also taken it to the next level, and that's the whole point of research, and we've wrote some of our own. We are working on partnering with NASA and the FAA with this project because we have outlined some critical vulnerabilities, and with anything that does bring quite a bit of risk to the situation. We've actually been using AR paradrones. Those are known to be quite vulnerable, and we can make them do just about anything. We're also working on some research on the DJI Phantom, which we're actually able to infect the controller and make those do just about what we want. We're also testing out a common selfie drone that you might see some commercials on, and it's a little bit scary because they're quite vulnerable. As you guys can see in the slide, this was from some of the early drone testing. It's a really cool team, and the students have loved this project. FAST also hosts something called Capture the Flag, which is a cybersecurity-based competition. Our questions range from conceptual and interactive, where the conceptual questions are very high-level theory-based questions on cybersecurity. This is for the entry-level students that may not know anything about cybersecurity, so we might ask, what is cross-site scripting? And they'll answer theory-based questions about that. Some of the theory-based they can Google because, like I said, Capture the Flag is supposed to be something you can learn from, not just show up and try to hack into a system. Although it is quite fun to host, give students a challenge, and we bring in a physical box with several vulnerable VMs as well as hardened machines, and we store files on those machines that just have a message, and they're physically required to hack into those machines in order to capture points for their team. And this has been a very big event for FAST this year. It's actually new. We just started doing it fall of this year, and it took a lot of time to build. We actually utilized Facebook CTF, but we've essentially made our own version because it is open source, but it had a lot of bugs. Fortunately, we had a team of 5 computer science students that have been working out the kinks and essentially making our own FAST version. So it did take a lot of time and effort, but it is possible, and then there are resources out there for other organizations to host Capture the Flag events. We've also wrote about 500 questions now, which we're opening up to the university community. We've already used them, and we don't plan on reusing them, but we spend a lot of time in generating these questions, and I'd be happy to share those upon request. As you can see in the picture, this was one from our first event. We had over 60 students show up, and we usually fill the room that we've been allocated, and as the event expands, we will probably seek out larger auditoriums. But it's a lot of fun, and the students really do enjoy it. They're happy to represent the FAST brand, and they're happy to show up because they're going to learn something. They're going to have some fun with their friends, and they can put this on their resumes because they're getting valuable experience. So that relatively ends my portion. Are there any questions on the Forensics and Security Technology Club? If there's no questions about FAST, I will pass the ball to our next presenter. Our next presenter will be Ben from the SWIFT Club.
Hi, everybody. My name is Benjamin Dillon. I'm the president of SWIFT, which is Students with an Interest in the Future of Technology. Give me just a moment. We're going to pull up the slides. Alrighty, so what is Students with an Interest in the Future of Technology? I always like to tell people we focus on 3 core areas: systems administration, networking, and security. Little back here, computer information systems student. I've done internships at Facebook and Northrop Grumman. I've worked here with the Cal Poly CCDC team in SWIFT for the last 3 years. And I'm really excited to get to tell you guys about what we do in SWIFT. And let's get started. So the core of SWIFT is hands-on workshops. We really like learn by doing here at Cal Poly. It's something we see all of the clubs doing, and we're proud to be part of that tradition. So what I've got listed here on the screen are just a couple of the workshops that we ran just this quarter. So we ran Intro to Networking, Own the CTF, which was a really fun workshop on how to win CTFs and basically what the common skills and problems look like. We taught Network Forensics, which was a really fun workshop, which had people pulling not only files, but also voice over IP calls from packet streams, showing people how to identify what's happening on the network. It was a lot of fun. We taught a Windows exploitation workshop. So as I'll mention in a little bit, Swift also hosts Cal Poly's CCDC team, which is the Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition team. And we got several of the members there from the Windows team to demonstrate common Windows vulnerabilities, how to exploit them, and how to protect yourself against them. And then the one that's actually pictured here is our Intro to Linux with Minecraft. A lot of people come to Swift to learn, the technical skills they need to survive in the cybersecurity industry. And one of the things that's so prevalent is you need to be fluent in Linux. You need to just breathe it, basically. Almost every tool you use requires it. A lot of the penetration testing operating systems are based off of it. All the tools are written so that you have to be a Linux user. So this is one of our really fun workshops because we teach people the introduction to basically one of the most powerful operating systems on the planet, and we teach it with Minecraft. So and they get exposure to something that's really going to help build them up as a professional and give them the skills they need to succeed. So conferences. This is another thing that we do at Swift, which I think is unique among the clubs on campus, but we go to different conferences and expose our students to the professional industry. So the photo here is from the Southern Expo, or SCALE, which we just went to 2 weeks ago, which is a 3-day-long conference. It's focused on Linux, open source, system administration, security, networking, all the kinds of things we really enjoy. And one of the really, really important things we do there is we get students to interact with industry, and we get people hired at these kinds of conferences. It's really cool because not only do we invite out a lot of sponsors and companies to come speak at Swift or come support our conference, Tech Symposium, students are networking here, and students are passing out resumes and getting back offers. So it's really fun. Some other ones that we do, we go to Layer 1, which is a security-focused conference in the spring. We're very excited to be going this year, which is a really great experience for our students to get hands-on workshops and do more interacting with the industry members, which they will be working alongside very soon. And then another conference that we're big fans of is B-Sides LA. So B-Sides LA is kind of a small, intimate conference. There's only about 100 people there. And it's really great because it gets our students not only in these workshops and working with real skills that they need, but really making those friendships with professionals. And I've seen a lot of connections, really grow and thrive from there. One that isn't mentioned on this slide, but I will talk about briefly, is we love conferences so much, we host our own. So every spring, we host the Swift Tech Symposium, which is our own security system administration conference, totally run by students. We have a number of corporate sponsors which help us out and help us run the event, but all the planning, everything's run by students. And it's a really fun opportunity because not only do students get to, again, broken record here, interface with industry and get hands-on workshops, but this is one of the great opportunities for students to actually get to present. So we encourage our own students to actually present at this conference, and it's been very successful. The last year we had almost 200 people attend, and we're looking to grow it even larger this year. We've got a target of 300 attendees, both students from our organization, students from the College of Business, and the entire student body of Cal Poly Pomona, professionals, as well as alumni. Swift is very strong with its alumni. And in fact, alumni help a lot of our students get the connections they need and actually help them get jobs. And we even invite people from other universities as well. So we've got a lot of folks coming in. Tech Symposium is one of those great conferences because we're also partnering with the other clubs on campus. I think that's actually my next slide. But one of the things really important and kind of core to Swift's mission is supporting other clubs and working with other clubs. So as I just mentioned, Tech Symposium is open to all the other clubs on campus. I know we've already got an open invitation to FAST, and they've offered to come out with their drone hacking and do chip-off forensics and things like that. We're very excited to have them. There's also an open invitation to the MISSA Club next. But we also already have a lot of club support in progress. So the photo you see here is from Hack Poly. Hack Poly is a hackathon run by another student club on campus. It's run by a club called Poly Founders. And it's one of the largest in Southern California with over 700 attendees. So how does students, how does Swift, how does club help out another club that's doing a hackathon? Well, we run the network for them. So as I mentioned, 700 people. It appears someone needs to mute their mic. Okay, so 700 people show up. That's a really large networking requirement. So what we do is we run over half a mile of Ethernet cable, almost 50 switches. We run our own router. We work with campus IT, and we make an event of 700 people run for 24 hours with 0 downtime. It's a really huge commitment from our team. We have people on campus for pretty much 36 hours straight. But it's one of those things that not only lets our students build their skills, talk about securing a network. Securing a network of 700 people is very challenging, but our team is able to pull it off. So some other events that we support, Frag Night is an event that we host every quarter in conjunction with another club. It's a little off the beaten path for security. It's a gaming night, but again, every single quarter we've got 200 people coming out. We run the network and make it secure. So it's one of the great practical exercises. And then another club, the Game Development Club, has just approached us to have us help them run their conference. So supporting other clubs, letting our skills support other organizations on campus, really core part of what Swift does. And then there's competitions. So as I mentioned before, there's CCDC, and don't get scared off because there's a lot of very strange acronyms here. We've got CCDC, CPTC, CPTF, and there's probably going to be some CCDC, ZZDZ, or some other strange acronym coming up soon. But let me give you the rundown of what they are. So CCDC, or the Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition, is what you see pictured here. And it is a team of 12 students that go and are dropped blind into a computer network. This network runs a variety of different services. There are a dozen to 24 different machines running with different services. And we are tasked to not only secure the insecure, old, poorly configured machines, we are supposed to keep the services up, and we are supposed to defend the network from a live team of pen testers, the red team, which are professional hackers who are very, very skilled at their job. That we go up against are known professionally. Some come from really high up companies. We've got folks from Raytheon, Facebook, Uber, all coming in and red teaming. So we're getting professionally attacked, essentially. We also like to flip the script sometimes. As you see next, we've got CPTC. That's the Collegiate Pen Testing Competition. Last fall, we sent a team of 5 to the Rochester Institute of Technology to compete in the Collegiate Pen Testing Competition. And it was a really, really great experience. We are tasked to do a real-life penetration test and assessment. So all the way from responding to a proposal, so from an RFP, we write a proposal, we go on a vendor call, we talk about services, we interact with them in a totally professional manner as if we are assessing their network. We arrive on site, we meet with management, we then have an 8-hour day of pen testing their network, assessing all of the different systems and services that they have running, attempting to escalate privileges, steal personally identifiable information, and make ourselves have a very strong foothold in their network. Following that, we then write our findings into a report with suggested mitigations, and then present that to an executive board the following day. So it's a really full spectrum penetration testing competition, and it's really, really good for our students that are interested in pen testing. We've got a lot of interested students. And then, of course, there's CTFs. As Karter mentioned earlier, FAST runs a CTF, and we always send students over there. There's a number of other different CTFs that are hosted by different places that we compete in, and we also end up hosting some of our own CTFs. Most recently, we ended up actually running the CTF at the Southern California Linux Expo. It was a CTF targeted for kids to get them interested in security. So it's a lot of fun. Competitions are a really great component of and give us a great hands-on part of how our club works. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to Mr. Matthew Sprengel, who will talk about MISSA.
All right, thanks, Ben. MISSA is the Management Systems Student Association. I believe the organization is around 40 years old now, so it's been around a long time at Cal Poly and has really built a great history and alumni base. So MISSA has a slightly different goal than SWIFT and FAST. MISSA kind of, I would say, builds on their technical skills by providing the soft skills. The goal is to provide guidance and opportunities for students who are looking to prepare for a career in the IT industry but are unsure of where to begin. A lot of students, when they enter college, they come into the CIS major and they're like, this is IT, right? Like, that's all it is. Well, it's not. There's so many different ways you can go. You can go into database administration, systems administration, networking, security, applications development. There's so many aspects of IT that students are a little lost at first. So what MISSA's goal is to kind of educate them, connect them with professionals in industry, and kind of teach them the soft skills which really round out an individual. So there's a couple key things that MISSA offers students. Networking events with business professionals. Each week we try to have companies come in and present, and they'll recruit from our students. Students can bring resumes to the weekly meetings. They'll hand them to the employers in person. And a lot of times they'll get callbacks for interviews, and will often get jobs because of people they were able to meet through a MISSA meeting each week. We also do career development workshops, so focusing on resumes, cover letters, how to do a good interview, what does your professional digital persona looks like is one of the ones we like looking at, because it's not necessarily your LinkedIn, which is a great and really important networking tool. But it's also about, what is your Facebook, your Instagram, your Snapchat, if those things are publicly available. What does those things tell about you? What kind of story do they share? And those are all important things to future employers. Again, opportunities to develop soft skills. So across the opportunities with meeting with industry professionals, in addition to their soft skills that are at times, I would say, a little difficult for computer science and computer information systems students. But that's one of the nice things about CIS at Cal Poly is it's a business major, so the students get a wider degree of business and how CIS ties into the business world, because at the end of the day, most companies, security is not their core. So the key component of the support that helps drive the rest of business. And a good IT program will utilize security in a way that really drives business forward. And then it's another opportunity for students to gather socially with each other and get to know each other more. A couple more networking opportunities. All students who are MISSA also become members of ISACA, the Information Systems Audit and Control Association. For at least the Los Angeles area, they have the second Tuesday of each month, they have a dinner meeting. So it's a great opportunity to go and network with professionals in the industry, kind of get to see what's going on out there, hear the current, what the trends are in the world, and another great opportunity to get internship. If Dr. Manson later wanted to, he could even give his spiel about how when he started going to ISACA meetings back when he was in school, he was nervous at first, but after a couple meetings, someone actually offered him an internship because they were excited to see a student that was attending those evening events. So getting out there and joining professional organizations, whether it be ISACA, HTCIA, ISSA, OWASP, etc. There's a lot of really good organizations that you can join and partner with. We also partner with the Cal Poly Pomona Career Center on events. So when we host our information technology competition, or we're trying to bring in speakers, or we're doing a career fair, we'll work with the Career Center to really help bring in industry professionals who are relevant to our students. We offer events to meet and network with industry professionals. We do workshops on how to improve marketing of yourself, because one of the most important marketing skills anyone can know is how to market themselves, because at the end of the day, we are products that need to be sold to companies, so that way we can make a living. And then partnering with other CIS clubs. Like I said, it's a really nice partnership having FAST and SWIFT kind of focus on the more technical side, and then having MISSA kind of and work on those soft skills and to really build a well-rounded security professional. Then career development. We do resume workshops. So those, again, like I said, focus on building a good resume. What do you put on your resume? When do you stop adding your high school stuff to the bottom of your resume? What kind of college tools or things you learn in college, from your technical skill projects can you put on a resume? How can you phrase those in such a way that really encourages employers to want you as an employee? Then tying it in with interview workshops. So how do you really interview well? What are the most common questions you can get asked in an interview? What are the best answers if you don't know a question? Then we also started a mentorship program through the United Business Student Senate. That was something that we were trying to do this year. Full of issues with the college and their mentorship program already. So instead, we're working on kind of building into the college program and assisting them. So that way we can really help all the students in the College of Business, not just our own student clubs. And then also small breakout group sessions. So at some of the meetings, we'll take the time and we'll break off into groups and we'll discuss current things, whether it's like a weekly topic like resumes or interviews or something else. And then another thing that's not on here that's really, I think, a key part of who MISSA is our information technology competition. So the 21st Annual Information Technology Competition was coming up in April. It's basically a case study where we have 4 categories: IT strategy, forensics, security, and web applications development. We'll compete in real-world cases which are developed by professionals in the industry. After having the case for 3 weeks, writing a report, preparing a presentation, they'll be judged at the actual competition itself on how they did. It's a great opportunity for them to network with professionals, and it's a great resume builder, and we also have prizes for first, second, and third place. So the information technology competition kind of rounds out a lot of the technical skills that the students learn in FAST and SWIFT and allows them to apply them to real-world cases and get more experience. So yes, and that's the end of my slideshow. So does anyone have any questions about MISSA or SWIFT at all?
This is Dan. I'd like you three to do something, just take a couple minutes, talking about how you started developing your hands-on skills and your passion before college. Because as you know, one of the things I say is this can't start in college, it has to start before. So Ben and Matt and Karter, could you kind of take turns talking about how before college you started to develop this passion?
Yeah, Karter speaking. I'll start it off. So going into college, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but in high school, I was really interested in computers. I was part of a robotics club, and I really liked working with computer hardware. So this was probably sophomore, junior year of high school, and I started learning how to program in Java my senior year in high school. So I knew going into college, I wanted to work with technology. I wanted to work with computers. I wish I would have had an opportunity. There's something called Cyberpatriot that gets students exposed to cybersecurity and computers as early as middle school now. But I didn't have that opportunity, but I still was interested in the field. So going into college, I started as a computer engineer. Didn't necessarily like the engineering track, so I switched over to computer science. I found that I really enjoyed the programming classes, but did not want to continue with the math or the physics, so I transferred to Cal Poly because I found a program that absolutely fit what I wanted to do, which was cybersecurity, forensics, and IT. So when I transferred to Cal Poly, I had a great programming background, and I started getting involved in the student organizations, and then here I am, my 4th year at Cal Poly, very involved, great resume, and I encourage students to start early because the earlier you start, the better you're going to be.
Thank you. Ben, Matt, you want to talk about yourself for a bit?
Sure. So Ben here, and it's great that Karter brought up Cyberpatriot because that's absolutely the first thing I'm going to talk about. So both Matt and myself went to the same high school, and we had the fantastic opportunity to compete in Cyberpatriot. So in high school, I knew I really liked computers. I'd taken some of the introduction programming classes, but I didn't want to be a developer. And then during my time in high school, I was in the NJROTC program, and they had this opportunity to join the Cyberpatriot team. And I kind of joined it just on a whim. They needed somebody for a certain competition. I joined up, and then I competed for my last 2 years of high school. And in fact, both Matt and myself were able to then, in our senior year, actually go to the national competition, which was at that time in Washington, D.C. And that whole experience of Cyberpatriot was really what got me started, so that when I came to Cal Poly, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And it was really a blessing for me because I didn't have to worry about trying to find what I wanted to do. I was able to be extremely focused right away and start working on those things. Cyberpatriot's great in that now they're expanding down to the middle school area. I actually got a question about that previously, about is there anything for middle school? And I think they're also looking for an elementary school program as well. But you can go middle school, high school, college, and start working on this track, which really, really prepares students. And it's gotten so much better over the last couple of years. When me and Matt were there, it was hard, and it was challenging. But my brother, who's 2 years behind me, went through the same program, and it was so much more difficult. They've added so many more real technical skills. You do system administration, security, networking. Now they have people working on Cisco gear. And it's really kind of a full spectrum program that really gets people a great start in security. You don't know everything. Obviously, every competition is limited in some sense, but it's a really, really great opportunity for students to get started, get their feet wet, and see if they like it. Me and Matt liked it so much that last year when they approached some folks to run part of the nationals competition, we jumped up to it. And both last year and this coming year, we are running a portion of the nationals competition. So if you have any questions about Cyberpatriot or how that works, we're your guys, because we'll talk your ear off all day about it. Really exceptional program. And then when I got to college, it's just what you've heard today. It is getting involved in a club, getting hands-on, and just diving in head first. You have to get started somewhere. My whole first 2 years, I felt like I was in way over my head, and then suddenly I realized it wasn't over my head anymore. You just have to get involved. Matt, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'm just going to add a couple things. Karter and Ben were both spot on with their analysis and talking about, their involvement and stuff. Definitely get involved in clubs and stuff when you get to college, but in high school, the Cyberpatriot program, I started when I was a freshman. It was a great learning opportunity. I liked it so much that I actually went back and was a technical mentor at my high school for a year. The following year, I was no longer able to technical mentor for the program because I was helping develop the national finals competition. But the nice thing is after this year and a year of sabbatical, accord with Cyberpatriot rules, I will be going back to technical mentoring, which will be fun. It's a great opportunity for professionals in the field to really contribute to the community and help young students really get involved. There's a lot of technical mentors out there. If you're a student, it's a great way to kind of get outside of your shell, kind of learn some skills, add something to your resume. And it's a great program to invest in. They do a lot of great things for their students. They offer internships for high school students. And it's a really great way to kind of build the cyber community.
Another thing that's really key to note here, Ben again, is that it really prepares students to go to CCDC. So it really preps students for the next level of competition, to take their game up a notch. And a lot of people get hired out of CCDC. In Swift, I think over the last 3 years that I've been here, every single CCDC member has been hired, and from some pretty cool companies. In just the last year, we've had Amazon, SpaceX, Uber, Workday, and a lot of others. So it's really great to grow yourself up.
Thank you. We have a question. How did your clubs establish the relationship with the professional associations, ISACA, HTCI, et cetera?
Yeah, Karter speaking. So FAST got introduced to HTCIA from our student advisor. Our student advisor is Dr. Carlton, and he is a very well-renowned forensic scientist, and he is a big advocate of HTCIA. So he encouraged the organization to start a student chapter. The initial couple of years, we didn't really take advantage of that student chapter. This year is really the first time we are, but getting introduced to some of these companies too, we're utilizing these student chapters, building those relationships, and getting a pretty good recognition as far as our club goes. Organizations know the kind of talent that is coming out of our club because they're hiring some of our students, and these students are performing so well in those organizations, their recruiters are coming back to grab some more students, really. Go ahead, Ben.
So this is Matt. MISSA's had a relationship with ISACA for longer than I've been a part of the club. I would say a big part of it is one of the former faculty members was a board member with ISACA. Dr. Manson has been very involved with ISACA over the years. And basically it's those relationships which have propagated forward. You know, ISACA is a great sponsor of Cal Poly MISSA. You know, in addition to, you know, having students come out to the spring conference, which they host out in LA, to their monthly meetings, they also are one of our main sponsors for our information technology competition. So it can also be a great resource for, you know, capital to run great events and really help drive students forward as well.
Ben here. From the SWIFT side, we're the club that isn't currently chartered under ISACA or HTCIA. Nonetheless, we've got a lot of connections, not only to professional organizations, but to also just professionals in industry and different companies. And we kind of culture those all the same way. It's really, it takes a lot of outreach. We tend to meet those folks at conferences. We have to go out and we will cold email, we'll meet people at conferences. But what's really been interesting to me is actually to find out how small the world is. We've got students that go, not as a part of SWIFT, but just as friends in SWIFT, you know, to places like DEF CON, and with that in conjunction with, you know, B-Sides, Scale, Layer 1, and all the other professional meetings that we go to. What's been really interesting to me is how many people you end up knowing. Every time I go to one of these conferences, it turns out that we know a lot more people there than I thought we would. You're just constantly running into people. You say, "Oh, Dave, it's good to see you. Oh, you know, how are things going over there at OWASP or, you know, whatever thing that he's working on." So the thing is for us to just jump out there, go to those organizations, find the conferences. People often ask us, for example, why we go to Scale, because it doesn't sound like it's as core to our mission of security as some of the other conferences we go to. And the answer is that it's one of the great places where we found a really good community, and we found professionals that are willing to teach us all these different skills and come work with us. So we like to tell people, you don't have to wait for the perfect fit. You don't have to wait to find the conference or the professional or the company that's perfect for you. You just have to get out there and make the best of what you can do, and it really pays back. We've had a lot of great success from working with people we've met at Scale, different conferences, and just through our professional networks, if that answers that question.
Thank you, Ben. Gus, are there some questions from the audience?
I do not have any questions from the audience. Anybody else have any other questions? Okay, that'll be no. All right, well, I'd like to thank MISSA, SWIFT, and FAST, and Dr. Dan Manson for presenting this webinar on best practices and lessons learned from Cal Poly Pomona Cyber Clubs. And thank you for everything you have done. We have one more question. Can individuals join your clubs externally? If so, how?
Karter speaking. As far as FAST goes, we do allow external members to join upon request. So they would just have to reach out to our organization. So if you go to cppfast.org, do a contact us, and we will evaluate the request and likely grant it.
Ben here from SWIFT, very similar policy. Due to university requirements, we have to make sure that, the vast majority of our members are of Cal Poly Pomona, but we absolutely have room to accept members from external organizations, and professionals and students from other schools. So very similar process. Email us at eboard@calpolyswift.org or go to calpolyswift.org and hit contact us. And we'd love to talk to people that are interested in joining.
And then MISSA is the same way. Our contact information is on our website at calpolymissa.org. Same policy. Of course, we have to abide by university regulations, which limit the number of external people in our organization, but we're open to all. And in reality, it's first come, first serve for us.
And one last note on the SWIFT side of things. Being a SWIFT member is not necessary to attend SWIFT events. So all of our workshops, meetings, and conferences are open. So even if we say hit the quota or somebody doesn't want to become a full-fledged member, we always invite folks from outside the campus in any capacity to attend our meetings. We want to make sure everybody gets the same benefit.
Same for MISSA.
Anything else, Gus? Thank you for your time today. We really appreciate being able to connect with National Cybersecurity Student Association and look forward to continued involvement. Thank you.
You're welcome.